Hey, welcome everybody. Tonia Reeves, Australias Cowgirl Medium, here eating breakfast, having coffee, and chatting to the awesome Tony Kiss from the Human Repair Shop. Hey, Tone, how are we?
Very, very good. Very good. And good to see Tanya. Good to see. Sorry I wasn't here last week. What happened last week?
Yeah, I think you had you had jobs to do, you know? Something you
know what? I had a shitload on. I had to go drop the car off to the mechanic, go see a doctor, do all this other beautiful thing that you got to do in life. Drop the car off to the mechanic. Guy's a great guy, but I picked it up and it's got squeaky brakes now. Now I have to take it back.
Now it's got another problem.
C'est la vie.
Oh, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I've got a bird in mine at the moment. Like, and I say that it's like the fan belt, something that's like making a noise, and he's like, I don't know how to fix it, and I'm like, it drives me nuts. It's like birds, literally like birds in the front. Then I'm like, I need to do some healing in the car. I'm gonna have a go at that later. See if I can get rid of it.
Have you got that like that where it starts up and it makes the fan belt noise where it's sort of?
No, it's just when it runs, it's got that, you know, like the bird sounding. You know, I don't know. I can't do it. It's too early in the morning for me to do the bird impersonation sound, Tony.
Sorry.
That's your job.
I know. I'd have to hear it. I'll give it a crack. Kylie, how are you this morning? Doing some great country, which is always good. Always good. But what's been happening? We've got the in-laws in from, or not the sister-in-law and brother-in-law in from Ireland with their two children. They've come to Australia, and I've got to say, Tonya, and everybody else out there, if you're out there, say good day, hi, how are you? It'll be good to jump on board, and you can give us some good survival tips for these people that have come from over Ireland. And Tonya, you forget how much of a journey it is for them to come from Europe to Australia. I mean, I think us as Aussies, we're used to like traveling to Europe. It's going to take 24 hours or whatever. Yeah, and we sort of use we cop that on the chin. But when they're in Europe and they're on the doorstep of every cool country in the world where they can go to Paris or Germany or Spain or Portugal or, Croatia or anywhere like that for like under $100, and it takes you an hour or two to get to everywhere, this is a big ask. This is huge. It's So they've struggled a little bit with jet lag, but we've had some really good stuff that we've introduced them to. So it's been good fun. I've enjoyed it. I've been playing Tour Guide Tony. That's my official name too.
I think that suits you. Tour Guide Tony. Anybody that needs a bit of a tour guide to happen, Tony is available.
I can't help myself, Tony. I will go into tour guide mode all the time. I go see that like across the road, Sydney Park, where we live. I go, that used to be a rubbish tip, but before that, it used to be a big brick factory.
We experienced that with every pub we had to visit when we came to see you guys, remember?
TGT.
And the tour along the way.
Yep.
I loved it.
Can't help it. Gay, how are you? Hey, so let's have a look at what's going on. That's enough about my crap. That's I think I've done everything in a nutshell. You people don't need to be bored. You guys are more important. Tonya, what's been happening in the world of spirituality and spiritual shows? And you had a bit of I saw, and I was quite excited on to talk about this, was the not the workshop, but the weekend at your place that you had.
Oh yeah, the retreat. It was awesome, and Nick's on board. Hey Nick joined us as well, and he was fantastic. We had an absolute amazing day at the farm. We were pretty much sold out of tickets, and we had an amazing group that came together, and it was really, really cool. We've got another one coming up, I think, in 3 weeks next month, so that's really exciting, and we're getting a few bookings for that as well. The farm experience is great, and I don't get to do it probably often enough, but it is a fantastic day of reconnection, and it was incredible the amount of gifted souls that come together with it. Like, Nick does his readings and things. So he's, always working, and he did share, which I know he won't mind me sharing, but he said like it had been about 4 years since he'd actually gone out and done something for himself. And you just could see him shining, and people were just in awe of his talent. And, he shared with us a meditation with the animals, and just he gifted that to us on the day too. So we were really blessed because, that was an impromptu, addition to those that were at the retreat. So that was pretty cool. And it was just, yeah, it was a really fabulous day of just interconnection. I've had just unbelievable feedback from many of those that came along. And it was a great reminder that, like, Nick himself's very established in what he does. And so was Ruth, who came along, and a few others. And then there were some that were just starting on their journey, and everyone just intermingled, and the layering was just perfect of such a mixture of, those on their path, some further along, some just starting out, but everyone was able to glean something from the day. So I feel very honored, because that's, something that's pretty, it doesn't always work out that way, or, you really got to sort of, I suppose, choose what you're doing and help all of that, fall into place. And Spirit always makes sure that happens for me. So I do feel very honored, and it was a great day. So, yeah, I'm sure Nick will pop something up about it. And yeah, I love doing the retreats here. The energy on the farm is amazing. The healing from the land is incredible. So that's kind of why I do it, really, is to offer that to others, something that I can do on a daily basis. But, people can come and enjoy it as well.
Yeah, nice. That's really nice, actually. And I'm glad that Nick opened up and he finally did something for himself. Nick, did share with us. I'm really intrigued, mate. You said it was the first time you've done something for yourself for 4 years. What was holding you back, and how does it feel to break through? That would be what I'd be really asking, because, you ask people, when people are always happy to talk about at the end of it, and that's just a natural thing to do. Like, you don't talk about when you're in the middle of it. You go, I don't do it for anything for myself, and I hate it. Rah, rah, rah. Mm. It's always in the past. You go, what shit, I've never put myself first. So I think it'll be quite inspirational to share a story like that. Tony Ann, how are you going? Good to see you on board.
Hey,
Cheers.
Tony Ann. Hey, Tash. Yay. Everyone's back on board. Yeah, no, the retreat was fun. And I honestly think, this part of the year, things are kind of speeding up a bit. So it is nice to take some time out for yourself.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited. I've got a massive horse ride that I'm doing in October. So it's 270 kilometers. And so that's really given me inspiration to get my butt into gear and ride my horse even more. And yeah, it's been great.
Nice.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's good. How is the horse going?
He's doing well. He had a bit of a sore back, but he's doing okay. Carrying me around. No, he's all right.
Yep. How do you know when a horse has got a sore back?
They scab up like a human. He was, he just, what had happened, he had something under the saddle blanket. I didn't realize. And then I looked and went, hang on, because his saddle's fitted. So as many, even those in this feed with horses, we all get, the saddles are fitted to them. So that the lady comes out, fits the saddle, make sure the horses, that the saddle's ideal for the horse's back and that kind of thing. But this day I do recall I threw the saddle blanket down on the ground, and I must have picked up, there was either a burr or something that just sat under it. And you don't really, it's hard to see them in amongst the horse hair on the blanket. So it just rubbed him a little bit, but he's been fine now. We've had sunny days. It's been amazing weather here. So I've actually just had his rug off and letting him heal up. So that's been great.
Oh, good. He'll be very, very glad for that. Leanne was saying the retreat was amazing. Leanne, share with us. What did you go through? What did you take away from the retreat? That's what I'd be really interesting for. And by the way, Gay says that the soup is on its way. Is this, what kind of soup is it, Gay?
Yeah.
And how much have you got to go around? Is what
you're really hungry now. I love it, Gay. Gay, when do you have? Gay sold her house too. When is D-Day, Gay?
Oh, congratulations, Gay. Is this recent? Because this has been a really big thorn in your side, Gay. This has been quite painful.
What happened?
Tell us what happened, Gay. This is happy stuff. Your soup. Tell me about the sale of the house. Oh, chicken and sweet corn. Have you got some left over? Or are you going to give it all to Tony Ann? Because I wouldn't mind some. Tell me about the house.
Come on. Sydney. Oh dear, I love it.
What else is happening
to everybody else? Like, we sometimes we're in our own little bubble. What's been happening for everyone else? Like you asked before, Tony, it's like, what's happening? Kylie, what's happening with you and Pete? Any news on traveling or doing anything? Anyone else has got anything coming up that they want to share with us today? We love to hear, don't we, Tony? Like,
I got a wedding suit.
Oh, you got one?
Got one. got one, and you know, geez, it's a lovely, lovely, lovely green velvet tuxedo top. It's pretty cool. I like it.
I
It
love
works.
it.
What's Nick got here?
Velvet. Wow, velvet suit. I'm excited.
It's in at the moment.
Is it green?
Is it green?
Yeah. Irish green.
It's Irish green. It's pretty good green, actually. Here you go. Nick's come on board. Thanks for this, Nick. Really appreciate this, mate, from you. Well, Tonia created a space that was safe and allowed us all to sit in that space with no judgment, and allowed us to open up and challenge ourselves in areas that are out of our comfort zone. Oh, well done. It allowed me to open up and trust my intuition. Nice. Well done, Tonia. It's not an easy thing to do, to open up a space and sit in a space with no judgment.
I like that. It just lends itself here so well to that. Like the energy makes it really easy. So that's beneficial. Linda's on board. She's in New Zealand. Oh, Linda, love New Zealand. One of my favourite places. Good on you. I wonder whether you're going to do a show over there. Linda's an amazing medium who does platform readings as well. So yeah, she's incredible. We're going to get to catch up at Broken Hill in person, so I'm really excited. We're going to have the best time at Broken Hill. We're just like, blow it out of the water.
Is Linda any good? How good would you say Linda?
Brilliant. Linda's brilliant. She's actually one of Lisa Williams. Well, I'll say she's the best teacher that Lisa has.
Wow.
So yeah.
Linda, I'm excited that Tonia's going to hang out with you. I wish I was there. You sound pretty cool.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she does investigations. Linda's really established in, people reaching out for, those that have lost loved ones and through police investigations and stuff like that. She's amazing.
Linda does.
Yeah, she does a bit of that. She just does it quietly, but yeah, she's amazing at it.
Linda, are you any good at helping finding my dad's memory? Because it's bloody shit. I always tell my dad, remember this, and he forgets everything. If you can find that, you got a job. That's what we know. But that's a pretty specialized field. What Linda does, that's a lot of pressure. I'd love to have a big chat with her about that, how she deals with because the expectation's pretty high. You got
to back yourself, but that's that's part of this, being in this industry, and I think that's the ever evolving path of a medium or a psychic, is to back yourself. So you you have that layering. So you do it and you do it really well, and you go, yeah, I'm I feel really confident. Then something will slap you down and go, oh, how did I not nail that?
Do you remember that show, Linda? You most probably know this show, and you're most probably cringing already by the time I mention it, unless you were on it. I didn't get into it. I don't know if anybody else watched it. Did anybody else watch this? It was a show with a psychic on it, and they went to a shipping container yard and they hit a person in a shipping container, and there's like thousands upon thousands of shipping containers, and this psychic had to locate where they were, in which shipping container, right, by using their psychic ability. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
That sounds great. I'll have to look it up. I love watching shows like Sensing Murder was one. There has been a few on mainstream TV that where there's other mediums. Charmaine Wilson's an amazing one. She I don't know that she won, but she was up there, and she's an amazing medium. So there has been a few shows like that, but there's nothing on at the moment. I think there needs to be.
Yeah, look, somebody will pick up. It just depends when mainstream comes into it. It's whenever TV goes, oh, psychics are back in, let's get they're in vogue. Let's go with that again. But that's a lot of could you imagine? I mean, they open up a lot of cold cases now, where they go searching for evidence and things like that for people that have been murdered and whatnot. And I know in some cases, when you listen to the podcast, they will bring a psychic on board. And they will ask, like, in forensics. So, Linda, Linda's already across this, but for us normal people, not that you're not normal, Linda, you're very normal. You're extremely normal. But that privilege to, I suppose, that background of forensic psychology and forensic police, it's just another realm, and it's how much they do rely on psychics quite a bit. But psychics were also used a lot in wars as well. I know they used psychics in World War II. To locate places and people and things like that. So, wow, Linda,
It's really fascinating, and it's great to see it is becoming more mainstream. Carly's also put up here, Pete and I are training in preparation for the Melbourne Firefighter stair climb. Woohoo! Go Carly and Pete. That's
amazing. Raising money for Lifeline. Good charity, that. Hey, did Pete go on to become a Lifeline counsellor? Did you look at that or not yet? Just that's a side note, Carly. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
28 floors with 25 kilos of gear. We're into 6 days a week at the gym. That's huge, man. 25 kilos. That's a lot of weight to put on Kylie. Heaps.
It is.
I know she's wearing one of those weight belts. I've ran one. It's not good, Kylie. It's great. Just be careful of yourselves. Don't overtrain. Just nice and gradually. All right. Don't make me put my dad hat on right now. All right. Just ease into it. We don't want you to get injured. We want you to finish the race. But I'm very, very, very excited for you both. I think it's so cool. Ward's on board as well. Hello. How are you? Avichka, she's excited. I'm off to Melbourne this weekend. So excited. I haven't been on a plane for over 10 years. Friends having a baby shower for her miracle baby. Oh, good on you, Avichka. That's pretty cool.
Oh, have fun, Avichka. That'll be awesome. That would be awesome.
Did you read Tony Ann's one here? Tony Ann, I'm really sorry about this.
I'm just like, I'm reading it going, what the hell? Tony Ann. My God.
This is pretty. Do you want to pop this up?
Wow, what a huge month I've had. Hubby had a massive heart attack and died for 40 minutes, been on life support, came back to life and strengthened to walking again, and now in rehab to recalibrate his brain. He was in ICU for 18 days. I don't know how people deal with stuff like this without the support and faith that I have. So grateful. Gay makes amazing soup and little quiches. Oh, Gay's so beautiful, looking out for those that need the help. And Tony Ann, oh my God, my heart breaks reading that. What you have been through, lady, my God, that is, wow. Wow, I'm just like, wow. Definitely.
So I want to know, Tony, and this is pretty, if anybody else has been through this, always offer your 2 cents worth, because it's always, helpful in that. I can't say I've been through anything like this before, or like had a client or anything go through it. I've heard of stories that people have gone through it, and it's tough. Tony, and that's just like, your whole life flashing before you, like your partner going through that. Are they going to make it back, yes or no? Quite stressful. I really feel for you. I'm glad you've got good support and your faith is keeping you strong as well, which is really nice to hear. But hopefully it all goes well, and hopefully there is no brain damage whatsoever. I hope that's okay. And then if you know what, Tony, as I said, it is what it is, and we just roll with the punches. That's all we can do. And I know you've got good support around there, but still, it's not easy to go through this journey. So definitely, my heart goes out to you on that one. That's a tough one.
Absolutely. And he's with the best healer ever. So he must be feeling blessed with that, having Tony Ann as a partner to help support his recovery. So, there's certainly that sense of being grateful for that, I can imagine.
Yeah, nice. Rachel says she's seen Charmaine Wilson recently. She's fantastic. Is Charmaine a person that's passed away? Or she's
the medium I was talking about who did the show. One of the shows, I don't know the name of them, but yeah, she did a show and did really well out of it. And she's an amazing medium based here in Australia. So yeah, she's incredible.
Do you reckon Rachel goes to Charmaine's gigs and goes, I've seen Tonia Reeves lately. She was fantastic.
I've been to Charmaine's. It is the best fun. I can't wait to be at Broken Hill. There's a few others, doing stage, and I love it because you don't get that chance always, because you're busy doing your own stuff. You don't get to sit and enjoy, which I'm really looking forward to, just being in the audience. And I love it because you always pick up things from other mediums. Like you go, oh, that was really cool. Or, you can really appreciate the way everyone's unique in how they do things. So, yeah, it's that part of it's great. And, you do learn so much from each other. So I think that's the best fun about when you gather so many talented souls together.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
let's put in, that's the one was the series that Charmaine was in. And I don't think you can't watch that anywhere, Linda, I don't believe. Because I remember a while ago I went, oh, I'd love to watch it, but, you couldn't. Yeah, I don't think they still sort of have it Rachel, have you sold your house yet? Like Gay sold her house. What's going on? We haven't had an update.
Let's not play that game now, all right? Let's just take our victories and let's. Whoa, Rach, don't worry, darling. You'll sell your house when it's time. Okay. Well done, Gay. That was awesome. Leanne's commented on the retreat. This is a really nice one, Leanne. Thanks for this one. Tonia's retreat for me was a chance to have some me time. Oh wow, I like this already. Me time, not being a mum and not being a business owner for part of a day. Simply doing peaceful stuff I love and connect with a beautiful group of people. Reminded me of spiritual gifts too. That's what you bring to the party, Tonia Reeves. That is so valuable. Leanne, I think all of us can resonate with what she's just said. Then just a little bit of me time. She didn't have to be a mum or a business owner. And, wow, that's the opportunity that you've given somebody like Leanne and also Nick himself, which is quite nice.
And Rachel shared here, she comes to watch me. Yeah, Rachel's been a great support. I'm waiting to come and watch you next, Rachel, because Rachel's incredible as well. And she's had some amazing feedback from shows that Rachel's done where she identified a heart issue for a lady's husband and said he needs to get checked. And he got checked, and they said if he hadn't got checked, that possibly could have gone on to have a heart attack. So these are the great stories. Yeah, these are the great stories.
A medical psychic. Have you got any of them on board? Well, my favourite one is that guy Edgar Casey back in the 50s or whatever. That's what it reminded me of. Maybe she's like Edgar Casey. That's pretty good. And that's a brave one too, Tonia. You can think about it.
Oh, sorry, I have to cut. Rachel sold. Woohoo! We knew it was going to happen. We were just like, okay, that's great to hear, Rachel, because they had the rental signed up, remember? So they were juggling both.
Oh, finally sold it. Well done. Well done. Did anybody on our tipping game guide betting syndicate that we had, did anybody pick the month of July is my question. Which one of you psychics picked July? Whoever picked July for these two selling their houses, up your prices, possibly double your prices for your psychic abilities. And you've got a new realm. It's called the real estate psychic. We'll tell you when you sell your house. Don't you worry.
So long ago, it's hard to remember who was what.
Can you imagine going to a psychic?
Probably, Tony, you probably got it. You know what I mean? Like, you've probably gone July. You're pretty in tune with that.
We'll have to rewind the tapes and have a look at what we all said. That's for sure. Congratulations to you both. I'm really happy for you. That's a really happy thing. We're going to get, I think we can really celebrate once that cooling off period's over and it's done deal, money's in the bank. And then, you know what? Chicken and corn soup for everybody. Gay, what do you reckon? That's what I thought.
That's so cool. Yeah. See, you did say July. That's cool. Yep, you did say. See, Tony said July. I love it.
Did I?
Love. Yeah, you did.
See what I mean? See, I'm not that egotistical. As a psychic, I'm not egotistical where I go, I told you it was July. I told you. I predicted this. No, I was like, shit, did I say July? I got no idea, man. And I told you, it comes to me and then I just let it go. Back out to the universe. That's
exactly right. That's how it works.
Hey, look at this. Kylie, you're a machine. Last year in this gig where she did the firefighting steps, I think it's called, like Kylie, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. She goes, I did it last year with no prep and came second. Gonna smash it this year. I like it. That's a gun effort for coming second, man. That's nice.
Absolutely. And Tony Ann's got a great follow-up one here. She shares, it was quite amazing. I felt so connected to him while he was out of his body and knew he wanted to come back. So many prayers were offered. It was just amazing. That's crazy. That is incredible, Tony. I did not realize, but I'm sending a lot of love and support to you. That's massive.
Wow, this blows me away. This is absolutely, I felt so connected with him while he was out of his body. Tony, you know what I'd really want to know? I've got a friend that actually passed away for a little while where he had the out-of-body experience. He saw all the medics come in and all this thing, and he was like, geez, what are they? He was quite humorous about the whole thing. He goes, what are they fussing about? They go, he said in his own spirit world, he goes, it's only just me. What are they worried about? And then he had this thing where he was physically pushed back into his body sort of thing, and then bang, came back to life. I'm just curious, Tanya, did you actually get a conversation with your husband, or was it just a feel of connection? And if that's too much of a personal question, I understand you don't have to answer it. I'm just I'm just intrigued if there was a conversation around that and what happened.
Hey, Sam. Morning, Sam's with us today too.
Morning, Sam. How are you?
And Avichka's put, there was a general consensus it was going to be July after June. There you go. That's pretty cool. I'm so glad for you, Rachel. One thing out of the way.
Oh, really? Is that what we said, Avichka? Okay, that's we seriously. Okay, us as a group and a community, we've just gone next level, ladies and gentlemen. we have nailed this psychic gig. Don't you worry. I'm getting jackets made up. We're getting coffee cups all made up. We are going next level, people.
God, poor Orla today at work's going to cop it. Tony's going to go in there and go, guess what? I know what's happening on this date, and this is going to happen.
Do you know what? I'm going to be honest. I reckon I would have done what I always do. I would have piggybacked off everybody else's comment, and then I would have gone, yeah, I reckon it's July too. Yeah, what everybody else. That's all I would have done. That's as simple as that gets. Hey, Gay, you're off to Fiji tomorrow. Oh, wow. Well deserved. Yes. Great for you. So you and George are going off? So it's Stephen, her husband, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Stephen. Yeah, that's the one. What was that?
Good on you. Yeah, Gay was talking about that. She'd been hanging out to go away, and Steve wouldn't until the house was sorted. So lovely to hear, Gay, that you're celebrating. Good on you.
It's a good man, Steve, too, because he goes, no, we're not going before, because he would have said, Gay, you would have been a bloody mess. You would have been stressing about the house. It's not sold yet. Would have been a shit holiday. He would have been left at the bar. Just he was waiting for happy hour every day just so he could go hang out, just so he doesn't have to listen to you whinge about what's happening with the house and how heavy that energy is. Now he's gone. We can both celebrate every day in Fiji. Beautiful. Clever man, Steve. Clever man. I like him a lot.
I like Linda's comment here. Don't underestimate your intuition. Yes, Linda, Tony's mother was a very amazing clairvoyant. She was renowned for it. She'd even written a book. So he definitely has that in spades, as much as he tries to go, I was just guessing.
I am guessing because I don't have any facts and I don't hold on to it. It sounds all right to me. Here you go. Rachel goes, my dad was told when he died for 20 minutes my dad was told that he had died for 20 minutes too, recently in his heart operation. He doesn't remember anything. I want to know if he had some kind of cool experience, but nothing. Yeah, Rachel, I wonder if, where would you go with this? I like Rachel's question. I really do. That's sort of your realm, Tonia Reeves, in a sort of weird, very grey matter way. He's not dead, but he's sort of dead.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but you hear so many variations of it. But then there's a lot of it. There's that common thread that you'll often hear with those that have that recollection. And for many of them, it's not your time yet. It's so common to hear that. And Tony and shared.
Why are you allowed to, though, as spirit, to go, I'm just going to go out? It's like spirit's a smoker, right? And he goes, I'm just going to go out the back for a cigarette, and they just leave your body all of a sudden, right? Like, at what?
I always think things happen for a reason. So if you experience that, there's something in it.
Okay. So
there's something.
Who else can jump on board with this one? Because this is an interesting one.
Tony Ann shared. There's a long one here. Let's have a look. So Tony Ann's put it here. I chatted with him a lot. So did the Reiki student. So this is Tony Ann's students. He said he wanted to come back to me, but didn't know how. So a master student chatted with him a lot and said everyone was just wandering around, not talking, just confused. Most in ICU are sedated. And he marveled at all the little bubble of light that floated towards him and popped when they landed. So many were sending healing we think that's what he saw. He doesn't have any between life memories yet. So interesting.
That's
Very interesting.
what blows you away about that is something, because don't forget, I'm just this novice kid who's reading into this. So what's the stuff that resonates with you or
well, if you look at, like, Tony Ann shared that her students were sending healing, and and he's obviously acknowledged or been aware of something around, and which is what he shared there. He marveled at all the little bubble of light that floated towards him. And that's kind of confirmation. And I think that's where we get blown away, is when you hear those stories where they couldn't possibly know, but they're acknowledging, "Oh, I felt this," or "I heard that." And it's like, wow, that's, as humans, that's what we're fascinated with, because we're like, how he wouldn't even know that, that was happening, but that was his version of what he experienced, which kind of confirms it all, which is so cool.
Wow, that's yeah, I like that. Like the whole, when we say we're going to send somebody healing, right? And you
Yep.
do that, and you think it, you feel it, but you don't really know what that. Let's be honest, we don't know what it looks like, and we don't know what it feels like, but we do send the intent. To me, if I was a scientist, and this would be the recollection of Tony Ann's husband going, well, scientifically, I think I can prove that if you do send positive healing, like that, it doesn't come across in a spirit form somehow, because this guy's actually experienced it. It was little bubbles of light that were popping, and it was positive. It wasn't a threat. It was more of a calming sort of thing. So I find that quite fascinating, actually. Tony Ann, I want to ask: is your husband is he spiritually inclined, or is he like a typical partner that's with a psychic? Go, I don't believe in that psychic bullshit. Was he on board? That's what I'd be asking, right? That's such a common thing, though, isn't it, Tonia? There's always
absolutely.
Yeah, my dad was the same with my mum. What is this spiritual bullshit?
And I always say it's healthy to be a skeptic. It's healthy. One of Andrew's cousins, he's a classic, and he's I don't know, a few years older than us, so he'd be close to 60. And he always says to Andrew, Tony's doing well with all her seances, isn't she? And it's like, I just laugh. That's what he calls it. But it's like, I think it's funny because he doesn't try and pretend to understand it, but that's what he says. And I have a chuckle. I love it. It's
good that you shrug it off, Todd. You're gonna have big, broad shoulders for that one. I tell you what, when it's something that you're passionate about, it's.
But that it's not meant. To me, it's like people get all caught up in being serious and this is what I think, when you're comfortable with doing something, you don't need to defend it. So it's just like, to me, I can appreciate, even skeptics that say, "Oh, I think it's a load of bullshit." Well, that's their role here on earth, is to be like that. So I'm like, that's cool. I'm not here to convince them or, to have to, put on a show to try and convince someone who's just not interested. So, they're the things that I think that's about, gaining enough confidence in what you do to go, the ones that get it, and the ones that don't. And I suppose it's no different to people that are strictly religious, and their beliefs are very cemented into following their religion. Well, that's cool. They love that. I don't take offense to that. So I think that's just how you look at it is really big.
Yeah, I like that. Rachel, I've always got your back, Rachel Peters, no matter what, but on this one even more so. She goes, and I love it, she puts in so many O's, I so badly wanted to pick his brain on his near-death experience. You're a psycho, Rachel, but that's why I love you. It's pretty cool.
I love that too.
But he said nothing. He didn't even know until the doctors told him. Yeah, look, I love where you're coming from. It's an interesting topic, isn't it, Rachel? That's what Rachel says. I'd love to have that conversation and find out. And that's, I think, we're asking Tony Ann. And Tony Ann's got here where she goes, the doctors have asked him to contact them later as they want to write papers on him. No one expected him to live. He's a marvel. Yeah, absolutely. This is why it's quite intriguing. There's a few people that have done this, and there's a guy that we've got, a client who has had it a couple of times, but he said, and he's very a black and white character, very factual. He's He's a runner. He's in his 60s. He's had two. He's got a defib fitted now, but he had a pacemaker put in before, and it was there for 10 years. And the wires actually got just became one with his body, and they couldn't rip him out. So he's got a defib in there now. And he's had a lot of research papers written on him as well, because he was a freak of nature as well. So your husband's one of those guys, Tonia, which is quite interesting. The question is, I think, from a spiritual sense, and this is what Tonia's saying, and Tonia, and you're asking, and everybody else, is what's the purpose for him to get pushed back into his body to say, hey, there's not much, you're not over and done yet. Like, this is just, you hit the halfway mark. Avichka says it here as well. He was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, Bavichka shared here her near-death experience. There was white light with the female ancestors saying it's not your time, and being pushed back into her body is what she remembers. And see, for even Rachel, like sometimes they don't remember it straight away, but it'll come to him in some sort of, sometimes it can be a dream state that he might suddenly remember stuff. So you certainly, it can come back. And sometimes I think we block things out that we can't understand as well.
Yeah. That's an issue. Rachel, this one's a good one. So I like this one as well, mate. This is when I connected with my brother and he was in ICU in coma. He told me his brain was too scrambled from the accident. I was doing Reiki on him at the time. Yeah, wow, it's interesting that your brother was able to communicate that in a sense of going, look, I get it, but man, nothing's making sense at the moment. But he had enough conscious energy to go, it's scrambled, it's gone. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and that's sometimes just in the realm of the unknown.
Absolutely. See you, Kylie. See you, Linda. They've both got to duck away. Good to have you on the show. Much love to you.
Yeah, Linda, keep on looking for those people that are missing.
Yeah, it's so cool, isn't it? Linda could have her own show. I'll chat to her about that. Tony Ann's put in a good one. Hubby is a beer drinking footy fan who knows that something positive happens in what I do. People walk down the drive to my room and feel better when they leave, is what he says he sees. And I'm his first point of call for ouchies and feeling better. Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
That's nice.
That's a bit like Andrew. My partner's a bit like that. It's like they keep us grounded, I believe, like it's nice to have that balance of what we do is, really connecting to the spiritual side of things, but it's great to have someone that's like, yeah, let's have a beer and, a bonfire and, all those sort of Aussie
and let's go do burnouts in the car park.
That's exactly, yes.
That's what Andrew likes doing. It's like,
he's had his ute zooped up so it does like, I don't know how many horsepower, Tony. He's had like his 6-cylinder barrow motor just off the charts. And I go, oh, nice. You're 55. What are you doing? He's got this ute that's,
because what happens when you hit 55, what you learn is how to better build your car. Like you go from your engine to your gearbox to your differential and then into your brakes and your suspension. So now you get a better balanced car. You can get a lot more horsepower to the ground, and that's what it's all about. Before, we were dumb. When we were young, it was just how much horsepower can we have? And we didn't give a shit where it went to. It had to sound cool. And now we're clever about it. So Tony Ann, which is really, I love it. There is similarities between Tony Ann's husband and Andrew himself, which is absolutely, he's more of a race car. He loves his racing cars and his beer. But Tony Ann, can I just say something about Andrew? He's a selective beer drinker. Like I've tried to take Andrew out and introduce him to the beautiful world of craft beer. And he calls it many names, and they're not nice names either, Tony Ann. Let me just tell you that. Like Australia's got this very good culture of beautiful craft beers, and Andrew just doesn't only just stick his nose up against it, he calls it names. He shames the beer whilst he's drinking it, Tony Ann. The beer's got no chance. It's like terrible. Just shamed throughout the whole thing. I just want to know, Tony Ann, is your husband the same? Has he got his own favourites, which I totally respect as well. I get that. But yeah, it's one thing, and you'll be happy to know, Tonia, Andrew will be happy to that. I'm taking the in-laws to the V8 supercars this weekend in Sydney. So
perfect.
Because it's under
photos.
Yeah,
photos.
Should be good. Really looking forward to this one. This should be really good.
Hi, Cherie. Cherie saying g'day. Welcome, Mel. Haven't caught up with Mel forever. Rachel's put in here another story from a client. I love to hear these stories because it's something we often hear, but you don't get the opportunity to share all the time. So Rachel did a reading for a client who contacted her telling me, when I saw her last, I wrote on a note, if all goes well, I never want to see you again. Well, she rang me to tell me she won the RSL Surf Lottery and had the choice of a home in Yamundi, but she took the 4.1 million gold bullion. Guess she'll never be seeing me again.
Right.
I love it.
Rachel, all I'm going to say is up your fees next time she walks through the door because you know she's got the coin.
I love it. Love it.
Jesus.
Yeah, next time you want a percentage, right?
You know what, Rachel? She will come back because money is not the answer to any of our problems. Unless it's a pure financial problem, then no. It's not going to get her any more happiness. She'll come back to you. She'll go, why am I feeling so empty? And I go, well, look, for $1,500, I can tell you in 15 minutes why. I'll connect to whatever spirit you want.
Yeah, I would have thought, Rachel, I would have,
See?
if that was me and you'd predicted that, I would have put some extra money in your bank account as a thank you. I love that. I told him my banking details are still the
same. Steve calls craft beer camel's piss. Look, Steve and Andrew have a lot in
He's
common.
on par with Andrew, yep.
Okay, look, here you go. This one's for you, Gay. This one's for you as well, Tonia. Taking out the in-laws around Sydney and whatnot, they're not in Ireland. They're not used to craft beers. They're like Carlsberg, or they'll have their Guinness. They'll have Heineken. All that mainstream stuff is what it will mainly have. Like, you know yourself, Tonia, you were over there, so a lot of that stuff over there. So I took them out to basically the bowling club where we're having the wedding at, and what was it, Clodagh, who's all the sisters, I don't like these pale ales and all these fancy, like, these other beers. So she had a Carlton Draft, right? And I cringed, Gay, I cringed. I thought, you're going to have that shitty, rusty water. And I went, all right, fine, have it. I've ordered, there's a pale ale called Grifter Pale Ale, which is down the road. Absolutely nice. And she had it, and then she had a taste of mine. She goes, oh, that's not too bad. Now, they've been here for a week and a half, and then she's gotten on, and so has her husband, onto all the pale ales. Okay, these are really good. These are quite nice. Then she had a Carlton Draft, what was it, Tuesday, and she goes, oh, my God, this is disgusting. I can't believe I like this stuff in the first place.
So you've educated them while they're there.
No, I let them come to that. I just went, you guys work it out for yourselves. Yep.
Cherie's put in how I thought they call VB Camel's Pee.
They do, Cherie. Let me just say that. It's terrible. Terrible drink.
It's come back in fashion, though. You see it around a bit. Like, I'm not a beer drinker at all, but, yeah. It's interesting.
But here we are talking about people dying and then coming back into our bodies, and we get into a beer comment. This is typical of our show, isn't it? We go on to something heartbreaking where somebody almost passes away. They have an out-of-body experience. They come back and they go, what alcoholic drinks can we talk about this week now?
Well, remember that this is funny because remember when we first started our shows, now this is going back a few years now, we'll give them a heading. Remember, Tony, you were like, what's our theme for this week? And we would start off seriously, like I'd put this is our heading, and so people would go, oh, that's cool, I'm going to listen to that. We'd talk about that for 4 minutes. Then the rest of the show was nothing about it. And I'm like, get rid of the headings. Get rid of what it's about. If they want to listen,
that's a good call. We end up talking about should you have your crust on your bread or not whilst having a sandwich. That's what we end up with.
Third world problems.
Look, we didn't know. I was a nervous amateur. I was like, no. People need to know what we're talking about. Then they'll tune in for that shit. And next thing no, we like the I don't know conversation, which is so cool. And look, it's worked so far. We're all still here together as a community. I love it. Tonia, and you went back to this thing during the time for distraction. I watched the miniseries on Foxtel, The Boys Who Were Trapped in the Thai Cave. Proves the power of prayer. Seeing how they got these boys out is mind blowing. It validated the power of prayer for me. Yeah, I actually have to watch that. You're a few people have exactly said the same thing, Tony Ann. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's really, really it's times like that, you know, when you're really tested. And for Tony, and I can only imagine, like, when things are touch and go like that with someone who's your life partner, be absolutely, you know, heartbreaking. So, Tony, and our thoughts are with you, because 100% would be hard. But listening to something like that, how cool is it? I love that. If I'm going through any struggle, I'm like, what can I listen to that inspires me? Because it kind of just shifts that, or, you know, helps you keep going, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Jill's soul cleansing and healing. I love it, Jill. Camel pee, not too far from the truth. Beer in general. I'm with you, Jill. I'm with you.
I know, it's just no good. I was just coming back here. She goes, so is Tony Ann's husband named Jason? Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep. She goes, Jason is into Newtown meters, which is meters another word for something? Because Newtown is where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a beer?
There is a Newtowner made by Young Henry's, which is a great beer. So if Jason's onto that, geez, no wonder he came back. He goes, oh, wouldn't mind another one of them. That's worth coming back into.
I love Rachel. Rachel's comment here. Themes in this community were never going to work. We are all too fly by the seat of our pants.
I know.
It needs to be our theme. I love it.
Could you imagine all of us rock up to a workshop and they just start giving you the agenda, and then it'll be like one by one, and we'll just be walking out as they're going through the agenda, and they're going, screw this. So many rules. There's too much shit that I've got to think about. I'm out of here. Newtown meters is a
strength of towing capacity.
I think Newtown. And I'm going, I put the W in there.
I read it wrong too. Newton.
Tony Ann, do you know what? This is why.
Maybe it could be a name, though. I do like it.
I do. Yeah. Got it now. My apologies, Tony. You're mostly having a laugh to yourself, but that's what we do. There you go. Vichka knows. Young Henry's is Wayne's favourite beer. Yeah, look, the Irish are loving Young Henry's at the moment. Oh, we should get a sponsorship, Tonya.
Yes. You're the only one that likes beer on this program.
No, all the husbands like it. What's wrong with you? That's 50% of the audience, if you ask me. I think it's pretty good. They're not actually active. They're just I
love it. Jill's put in here, Tonya, you're going today and you're looking good too, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. And I love Rachel. I drink lots of beer. All right. Rachel drinks enough for all of us.
I drink lots of beer. That is a classic Homer Simpson comment. I drink lots of beer. It's like, you know, some people go, I went to university, I got a degree, I'm really proud. Actually, I went through and did my master's and got my honours. And Rachel's in the same way. I go, I drink lots of beer. That's it. Well done, Rach. This is why we love you. We think you're a legend for what you've achieved and what you're about to achieve. Don't you worry. You're doing well.
Love it.
Oh, who's that? Avichka, you like the Kraken spiced rum with Coke? Yeah, it's a bit of a thing in the last 3-4 years, the spiced rum, isn't it? That's really come away.
Absolutely. Mel's put here, the only one beer that she likes, she can't get it over here.
Oh.
Barefoot Ratma. I haven't heard of that one. That must have been when you're in Western Australia, Mel. I would love to drink beer. You know, I think like beer's so cool. I love seeing chicks drinking beer, but I don't know.
Go hang out with Rachel.
Rachel's going, I need to do dry. Yeah, so do I, Rachel. Dry August, dry July, dry August.
Dry July just didn't work, did it? It just failed on so many fronts.
It was so funny, Tony, wasn't it? Remember when we did one? We started and we went on the show and we went, yep, we're going to do it. I think we lasted like 4 days.
I went all the way through. You failed. Don't bring me into this. Do not drag me under the bus on this one. I was good to my word. You, on the other hand, missed 3 days in.
Yeah,
I'm going to do the same. Don't you worry. I'm adamant. Dry July. Got it. 3 days in. Dry-ish July it became. Didn't see those clouds coming in. They're pretty wet.
Dry July, except for Saturday and Sunday nights.
Oh, but we had dinner guests
Oh,
over.
dear.
It was just you and Andrew.
Oh my God. You got to have a laugh, don't you? You know, life would be
Yeah.
boring otherwise.
I know. Look, I'm with you guys with the August thing. Look, I've got the wedding coming up, so I got to do
Yes.
something. Like, Jesus, you know.
I
Only
think if
because
you've got a
September's gonna be
goal,
so
a
big.
goal definitely helps. I mean, not for everyone, but I know for me, even
Yeah.
with doing my horse ride, like I'm riding heaps more and I'm feeling fitter. And I'm like,
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna, be increase my strength and fitness so that I'm feeling better. And you do notice a big difference, but it's having that challenge. So for me, it's like in October, we're riding 270 kilometers. So I need to be fit and I need to be as light as I can be for my dear horse who's going to cart me all that way.
I'm just thinking the horses in the stable go, fuck it. If she doesn't drop a few kilos, I'm out of this. All the horses
I'll
have
be
this
walking, I'll be carrying my horse.
Yeah, it'll flick you off and go, you try it. Go on.
We do apparently there's a few parts where you can jump off and walk. And I do that with my horse a bit because it helps create that connection together. So it's not always I'm on your back, I'm
Oh, yeah.
walking beside you. It really creates that connection and strengthens
Nice.
it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like that. Hey, Gay says here, she goes, I've been having a few Fiji gold. Oh, well done. Downside of getting away after 3 years, my sewing machine has been out. I'm a Teletubby.
I love Teletubbies, Gay. Love Teletubbies. That was my favourite show. I could watch that with the kids forever. I love Teletubbies.
I've never heard of anybody refer to themselves as a Teletubby. Like, Gay's just in front of the mirror going, this is yelling out Teletubby right now. Like, I just have to go with it. That's what's happening. It's like, you've just embraced your inner Teletubby. I'm just wondering, Dave, you been to Fiji before? I'm just curious.
I'm pretty sure they do go because I remember her sharing on the show that she wanted to go a few months ago and remembered Steve was like, nah. Get the house sorted.
Mario, have your whinging voice saying how the house is not ready, should have done this, should have done that. Real estate agents.
That's right. This is your your realm of expertise, Tony.
Which one this?
Have you heard of this one? From Rachel.
Yeah,
I was going to try this new fad of wall Pilates, but my biggest struggle will be getting back up off the floor.
Wall Pilates. Jesus Christ. Look, Rach, I've seen this and I think it's a load of shit. Because you look at the girls that are doing this so-called, like they're super fit and their core stability is bulletproof. Like they've been doing Pilates for decades, man. Like, and they make it look so easy. Look, the stronger your core strength is, the easier it looks, and it looks effortless. Man, like, Rach, I'd be having a beer next to you whilst you do it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Their support crew. Go.
Right. You would be struggling to get back off the floor. It is, yeah. Look, some of the exercises that you see on Instagram is just the people's level of fitness is insane, and they're doing it. And you can do this easily as well, and look as fabulous as me. I'm thinking, like, bullshit. If I had 10 years up my sleeve, yeah, I could, but it ain't happening in the 3 weeks that you're promising. It's like no way in the world. Good luck with that one, Rach. I like it. I think you do well.
Love it. Avic's put in here, would a horse throw you off? No, Avichka horses are so tolerant. They really are. They will carry, for the most part, they'll carry no matter what weight. They're very, very strong animals. So it's really incredible. But definitely your fitness helps. And if you're doing a few Ks like we're going to be doing, and ideally, if you're horse riding, the more independent your seat is, the better it is for the horse. So it's a bit like Tony saying, to have that core strength really enables you to move a lot better with the horse. And for me, like upping I'd had a bit of time out from riding and then got back into it again, you really can tell when you haven't done it for a while, you're a passenger, like you're just sitting there. You feel like whereas once you gain that core strength, which I have to say the last week and a half to 2 weeks has happened, it's so much better for you and for the horse, because you're independently sitting there and you're not just a passenger and bouncing around.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And Jack Murphy's put, just back riding my horse 3 hours, couldn't stop complaining for 4 days how unfit I am. And yes, I did a lot of walking with my boy, made it more fun. Good on you, Jack Murphy. That's awesome. And that's the thing, it does take a little while. I've been the same. And then you do it more often and you become fitter. And I love walking with my horse too. It's great. That connection really strengthens when you spend time the more time you spend out of the saddle with the horse one-on-one, the more powerful your connection is. 100%. 100%. Cherie's, no, you're right. Cherie's put here, I'm standing here getting ready for work just laughing. Good, Cherie. That's our plan, is we want to, make Thursdays fun. Keeping it real.
Just keeping it sane. I guess I wouldn't be as good on. Yeah.
I love Mel's put in here. No way it actually works. I used to do my own routines, but you don't need a wall, so to speak. I used to use old milk jugs filled with water. Why I'm not doing it now? Floor's too cold. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
I know.
Love it.
I love it. Hey guys, it's 10:30. Unfortunately, I've got to rock and roll. I've got to be on a bus in about 11 minutes. So,
oh God, run!
Yeah,
run,
I'm running into town, guys. Thank you so much for today. Sorry to make this a rush. I've just realised, holy shit, what do I have to do? So socks on, the jacket on, and then I've got to run out the door. But what was I going to say? Thank you so much, Tony Ann. Our prayers go out to you, and hopefully everything's all right with your husband. Thanks for sharing that as well. That's a big thing to share. That's what this community is about. That's what I love about this community. We talk about good times, bad times, and times that are really hard. And that's what we're here for you. If you need support of any of us, just reach out to us and say, hey, we're here for you. So that's great. And yeah, have a great time in Fiji, Gay. Happy to hear the house is sold, both of them, for her and Rachel. So it's all good. And let's all just keep rocking and rolling and sharing the love. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone, and we will catch up soon.
All right. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.